we're gonna go ahead and pause on my Evo 8 and start putting our energy towards Jalen's Evo 8 and make this car faster than how it is right now. So here is all the parts that we're gonna install on Jalen's Evo 8. As you guys may know that some of the parts looks familiar came out from my Evo 8, but only because we are gonna go ahead and change the setup. So why not take all my old setup and put it on her car. So quick rundown of what we have over here. We do have the STM 3.5 intercooler with the 2.5 intercooler piping with the tile BOV. 3.5 intake pipe. We have the Odyssey battery that we have to run the short route. FP manifold with the MAP opened up. We got the AGT 52mm dual ball bearing with the Turbo Smart wastegate, homemade heat shield, and we have the beautiful JDCustoms titanium hardwares for the heat shield, for the cam sensor, and for the exhaust manifold. Very excited to install all these parts onto her car, and this car definitely needs a tune. Super pumped on this build, guys. I've been waiting for this for the right time to come, and I feel like now that the weather here in Vegas is cooling down a little bit, we can go ahead and install these parts on their car, get it tuned, get it all dialed in. Very curious of what it's gonna make on this kind of setup. Now, you guys never seen how the car really look. We do have brand new tires all around. Car is tinted, it looks really good. Now it's gonna look way better with that intercooler replacement of the stock one right over there. The car already has HKS 272 cans, regular bolt-ons, 1050 IDX, and a single 250 Walbro, but we're gonna change the fuel system a little bit before we go and get the car on the dyno and make some jam. This is like a perfect street setup for her and to enjoy for a little while until she wants more. Then we can change a little bit of the setup, more like maybe on the turbo side, maybe better cams, but that's up for now. Before we go ahead and start working on the car, the first thing I really want to do is focus on this FP manifold. As you can see, it's a little rusted. I want to clean it up first and get this thing sprayed out and let it cure outside while we work on the car. Gonna be using some scuff pad, wax and grease remover, and we're gonna use a very high temp black paint. I'm not really looking for perfection on this manifold because it's gonna be covered a little bit with the Tomei heat shield, but it will look way better than what it looks like right now. Spray 2 coats on the manifolds. Let's go ahead and start working on the car. First thing I want to do is pop the bumper off. I'm gonna drain the coolant, maybe drain the oil at the same time. First thing that I want to tackle would be the turbo. I did spray some penetrating oil on the exhaust stud overnight, so that way it makes it a little easier to crack it loose and hopefully we don't break the studs. Here is one final look of how the engine bay looks before we put the new setup in. got our old turbo out. Let's go ahead and replace the exhaust studs and go with our titanium exhaust stud from JD Custom. They will look so much better on the head, along with the FP manifold and the Tomei heat shield. And of course, the long run, we will never have any issue with rusted studs and nuts. Our method to remove these studs is that we're gonna take one of our nuts, screw it right in. Second nut goes in like this. Tighten both nuts real hard. And just like that, we got one of our exhaust stud out. Let's go ahead and bang out all of them and put the new one in. Look how beautiful those titanium studs are. They look really good. You do need to apply some thread sealant on the bottom threads because there are oil port galleys. If not, they are gonna leak through. I want to show you guys a comparison side by side. Here are the comparison of how the stock turbo looks and the AGT 52mm turbo looks. That is a difference right there, guys. Very excited to see what the response and what power we can make out of this turbo. What we need off from this old turbo will be our oil return line. We need our gaskets from the manifold. I thought I had one, but I misplaced it. Install our O2 sensor on our new turbo. Grab our donut gasket. Install our MAP opened up to our turbo. We also got our JD Custom hardwares already on this turbo, along with our FP manifold with our JD Custom titanium hardwares that goes on the manifold to the turbo. And then we can install the turbo kit into the car. Right.
Look at that. Oh.
Damn it.
Hello, hello.
We finally got the turbo kit installed. It took me a little bit longer than I expected. I struggled on installing it with the open dump. I don't know if it's just MAP open dump or maybe open dump in general, but I had to slack the drive belt, loosen all 4 bolts on the AC compressor, pull it out. I found it a little bit easier of just taking the 4 bolts right on top on the manifold and taking the turbo out at the same time. It makes it so much easier because we had to remove that broken bolt that I snapped when tightening the downpipe. But overall, we're all finished up. I do need to repair this wire. It broke on me when I removed the heat shield from the power steering pump. I'll get that taken care of later on. But dang man, look at those JD Custom titanium hardwares, burn style, and it looks so good. Would you guys prefer with the Tomei heat shield on or off? It's really hard to tell, guys, but I think I might just leave this on for now and install these guys on the heat shield. Well, that, guys, looks really good. Moving on, let's go ahead and get the intercooler piping, the Odyssey battery, and the intake pipe on the car. The car is running a speed density, so there's the intake air temp sensor. We're already running the spool up harness, plug into the IAT. We need to remove the factory battery, remove the OEM intercooler, and the driver's side lower intercooler piping. We have everything installed on Jalen's car. The only issue that we were having was the passenger intercooler piping. I mentioned about this many times, but if you guys are new to the channel, I'll explain. So this car got into an accident. It's clean title, by the way. The previous owner had somebody install a new radiator support, but never double check everything as far as fitments goes, like bumper and the other thing. So as of right now, we are running the stock intercooler piping, which is not a big deal, and you guys can see why there's no cross member on this. I replaced the front subframe. Cross member doesn't really reach from underneath where it's at. I think this whole front end is a little bit more out. As of right now, that's not really a priority. The car still runs and whatnot, so I'll deal with that later down the road. Engine oil in, we topped it off, and we're gonna bleed the coolant system. But before we go ahead and start the car, I'm gonna go ahead disconnect the crankshaft position sensor. That way we can just build some oil pressure to the turbo before we go ahead and start it up. Oh, shoot. So we're all finished up with our first start on our new setup. Other than I forgot to tighten the oil feed line. So that was my bad. We lost a whole bunch of oil, so I had to put like at least, I don't know, 2 quarts of oil. That was my mistake. Clean all the oil that I made a mess on the engine and on the garage and on the ground. Got it all cleaned up. We ran the car for like about 15 minutes. Thermostat open, that's good. No sign of any leaks. We're pretty much good to go on the car. And it sounds so good with the dual ball bearing and the T51R mod. There's one last piece that we need to install other than the intake pipe, is to install this titanium cam sensor cover. Gonna go ahead and do our first drive with the new setup. We're not gonna do any pulls just because it's not tuned for this turbo, and plus we have 91 over here and this car was tuned 92 in Hawaii, so we just want to make sure that the car is running okay, making sure the check engine light is coming on, come back, check for leaks. Goal is to just drive the car, just making sure it's 100%, and let's go ahead and enjoy this AGT turbo that we're going to be listening to. It's gonna sound sick. So Jaden's gonna drive her car as of right now, see how it feels, and we're gonna hear from the outside. Dang, sounds really good now. Oh, what the hell, dude? That thing sounds so sick from outside. Oh, I can't wait to be tuning this car now.
I'm weak. Wow.
So fancy. Look how that clean look. Did a pretty good job. Are you proud of me?
Yeah.
Wow, so detailed. We need more titanium hardware though to clean this bay up a bit.
This too? I thought this was already on.
That was off from my old one.
Oh.
I figured put that on to match it. So all the parts that we install on Jalen's Evo, I'll have it down in the description box below. And if you guys are interested in buying JD Custom titanium hardware or any products from them, you can use my discount code JVBuild, save you 10% off. But I am gonna go ahead and wrap up in the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the process of what we did on our car. Very, very pumped, to be honest with you guys, after hearing the car from the outside for the very first time, and especially having her driving the car. Man, she's really, really pumped. You can just tell from her eyes. I might consider maybe upgrading the cams and also do valve springs and retainers, so that way when we tune the car we can at least hopefully make some extra jam. I did see the result of people running that 52mm turbo, especially with a built head like GSC cams, Cal 4 272 cams, and then mostly everybody else made about 500 wheel horsepower or under on E85. So I might consider just maybe changing the cams at the same time before tuning the car, but I might end up doing it if that's the case. Hello guys, I'll see you guys on the next one.